Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back. We are getting ready to have an amazing guest today, so get ready. We have Daniel Lawson today, so we'll be on in 30 seconds. Get ready, you don't want to miss it. Hey guys, good morning. We are back. Like we promised, we have an amazing guest today, Daniel Lawson. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you so much. Really, really good. Thank you for putting these sessions on. I saw last week, it was incredible. Excited to be part of it. And thank you for inviting me and coming along to be able to rock out and share with, I think we have a big audience here.
Yeah, so I am very, very excited to all our audience to get to know you and share all your information, your knowledge. I'm really excited. So a lot of people that don't know Daniel, it's a CEO founder that he does a lot of coaching and helps people to find themselves if they're stuck in a situation in their lives and in business. He helps them to find the full potential and meet their peak performance in life. So we're very, very excited to have you. So give us a little bit of your background
Yeah, awesome. Thank
about
you.
you.
Well, I'd love to jump in. There's lots I could probably say about myself. I'd really love to be able to serve the audience. Maybe what's most relevant in terms of solar. So I've come from the Australian solar industry. For those that are here and are familiar with Mr. Josh King and Virtual Solar, I started out like 7, 8 years ago with him, and absolutely crushed the solar industry in Australia. Some of my highest accolades maybe was over my career, both doing door knocking, in-house and virtual, hitting like 78% close rates. And then I got the name the Necromancer for bringing solar deals or cancellations back from the dead. And people always ask me how we did that. So maybe that's a conversation for another time.
Yes,
But
definitely.
honestly, none of that is really as important as the messages that I'd love to share today where it comes to peak performance and specifically around morning mastery. I know this conversation was actually inspired from the Solar Villa in Dominican Republic, which you were there,
Yes.
Brenda. Joe
Yes,
was there. It was an
that's
epic
how
time.
we met. It was a great experience and be able to get to know you and all the people that were amazing. So shout out to Josh King. Thank you so much for the invitation. But yeah, so we just want to get all the information that you can provide us, and the stage is yours. Thank you so much for being here today.
Awesome. Thank
And
you for the
start
introduction.
it. Thank you.
Awesome. So, who we got live? I would love to know. I know that we're broadcasting live across many streams, so I can see the comments here in StreamYard. It's called. So those of you that registered and here live, please come and play full out in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I'd love to be able to engage with you. I know many of you that are tuning in, we hang out on live sessions a lot of the time, and we can see each other. So a little bit different today, but I can see and I am following the chat. Of course, if you're here on a recording also, please comment in the chat. Act as if it's live. I think it's a really great standard, and I'll do my very best to come back across all the different streams and answer your questions, your comments, your feedback as well. So today, first thing I want to mention is, well, I've been given a time of about 30, 40 minutes. For those of you that would like to continue and rock on, I sense that maybe we'll go on a little bit longer. And I trust my commitment to all of you is to keep it interesting, fun, knowledgeable, and really just create a great experience. And I trust that you're going to bring that same experience for yourself as well. So today's session, I really wanted to cover with you, as mentioned, I specialize in peak performance across from emerging entrepreneurship all the way up to multiple seven-figure business owners. And one of the main conversations that is, hey, Brandon, nice to see you. And JC, awesome. Love that you guys are here. And And Joe, yes. Now we're getting the comments coming. Well, got the comments coming through on a different screen. I'm not that familiar with it. Keep them coming. So today's session, really dialing in morning mastery, morning routine, forging your peak performance. It's such an important conversation, no matter where it is, where you're up to in your life, because it's really about optimizing. Many of you I know here in the sales environment, you're crushing it. You're high achieving machines. And so this conversation is bringing a nuance, bringing a new sense of awareness from high achieving machine into a peak performing human. And we're going to touch on this. We're going to elaborate what that means more. But I wonder, I can't really see, but I'd love to get a show of hands if and who is really and pumped to be able to hit your peak performance. I come from a place of believing this is my human responsibility. My responsibility as a human to be tapping into my potential. And this is what peak performance is all about. So I really want to acknowledge you guys that are here. You're here, you're rocking up, you're here live. And of course, those that are coming back and watching this recording, given that you're here and you're dedicating the time out of your day, you could be anywhere in the world right now, doing anything. There's so many distractions keeping you from what's important. But given the fact that you're here, I really want to acknowledge you for that. Given that you're here, you already know that there's more of a potential within you. And whether that's to crush more solar deals or more success across all areas of your life, or like many of us, tapping into more of a sense of meaning and purpose of where it is that we're going and who it is that we're becoming. It's so important. And given that you're here, you'd be curious about how and where you can make these refinements within yourself. And I say refinements with intention because really it is just refinements. You all are epic human beings. You've got everything that you need within you right now. And it's about tapping into different parts of yourself, turning up parts of yourself, reconnecting with parts of yourself and making these refinements, these tweaks. And as many of you that are here tuning in, we've already been working together and you've been acknowledging and noticing this within yourself. So I really want to acknowledge you all, no matter where it is that you're on your journey, for bringing that curiosity and how you can specifically do this with volition. So like all my sessions, I invite everyone to bring a level of standard. What is the standard? It's the way that we show up, the commitment to ourselves to really get the most out of the session. You're investing your time, your attention, the effort in being here. A standard is show up as if and act as if this really matters because it matters so much. Full-on engagement. I know that we can't engage through the video, but I can see your comments. You can lean in, be on the offensive. So again, show up to get what it is that you need from the session when it comes to improving your peak performance. And these standards don't just belong here in the session. These standards belong out in the world as well as you go through. If you're not squeezing life, life will be squeezing you. So with that said, I can trust that you'll take care of the standards of showing up. You show up 100%, I'll show up 100%, and we'll get incredible results together. So as we opened up in the session, where I've come from, I can share everything that I've achieved in solar. I don't think that's anywhere near as impactful and powerful as what I am able to share with you as through from my journey in coaching and arriving here as a peak performance coach. It all started out, one thing that solar gave me, I really loved it. It made so much money I didn't know what to do with, and it allowed me to invest in myself. Where I started out was a water sports apparel company, so Parallax Apparel, and it was awesome. I thought if I could create a company that paid all my needs and allowed me to go and travel the world, chase the wind and go kite surfing, I'd have it all. That's all I needed. And what I discovered, and especially after I got into emerging entrepreneurship coaching, that's where I started in the coaching world, it was all about mindset. And so mindset's important. You would have heard everyone's always talking about mindset. You need to get the way that you show up, your attributes and your standards and your beliefs and these elements and how it is that we're going to take care of what we need to take care of, our drive, our being relentless and showing up in the face of adversity. When it comes to sales, door knocking, all these things, the mindset will take care of it. And I thought if I had the right mindset, I created a business, created the success, I'd be done. I'd be like, I've arrived. I kind of did that. this is where I discovered mindset is just such a small portion of it. It kind of almost bugs me now that people are always only talking about mindset, because what I discovered is, okay, I achieved that and then had a deep sinking feeling within me. And maybe you've experienced this yourself. You're getting the wins, but something's not quite right. And doesn't matter how good your mindset is, no matter how much success that you'll create, if your emotional well-being, I call this heart set, if your heart set is not in alignment, you'll never have a happy, fulfilled, functional life. How can you? If you're carrying around, maybe it's a resentment, a grief, a sadness, a despair, you're carrying all this around within you, no matter how good your mindset is, at some stage it's going to catch up, and that is not success. And so for me, this triggered a whole other journey for me. I went away from emerging entrepreneurship and went into coaching, emotional intimacy, emotional closeness with ourselves. And this was a reflection of my own journey. And so this is the heart set. This is another 25%. So heart set, mindset, heart set. And then coming out of the other end of that, stepped into lifestyle design, coaching lifestyle design for multiple seven-figure business owners. And one thing that I noticed is the heart set was so important. The mindset, they kind of already had a lot of it figured out because they'd gone through the trials and the tribulations. But then it came down to the health set. And one thing that I'm sure you'll all be familiar with is, if you don't have the energy to show up, to do what it is that you need to do, you're never going to be able to create the success. No matter how good your emotions are, no matter how good your mindset is, if you don't have the energy to show up, you can't create the success. And then the other thing is, if you're the kind of person that really wants to leave a mark on the world, leave a legacy, you got to stay in the game longer than anyone else. You got to be in it for the long haul, and that requires really great health. So whether it's your weight, whether it's your diet, I know a lot of people in sales and high achievers. How many I've seen addicted to drugs or alcohol or dysfunctional compulsions that are just holding them back, and it turns into self-sabotage in the future. And so health set's so important. And then the last part of it is the soul set. So tapping back into who it is that we truly are and what our purpose is, that our unique essence that we can leave on the world. When we tap into that, it starts igniting our neurochemistry that does the heavy lifting for us. And we'll tap into that in a moment as well. So what I'm sharing here, what I discovered, these are the four empires, the four interior empires to peak performance. And it really started building out a more full picture of how I coach peak performance now. Whether it's an emerging entrepreneur, emerging salesperson, all the way through to who's seemingly got it all in life, but is missing big parts of holistic success and having it all. The conversation starts becoming relatively positioned differently, but it becomes a relatively similar conversation. And so it doesn't really matter where it is that you're up to, whether you're achieving the level of success that it is that you want yet or not. If you want more in life, the four interior empires, the areas that we can tap into to really start creating the success that it is that we want. What I notice as a nuance between high achievers and high performers. The high achievers that seem like they have it all, whether it's in finances or they've got this very visually appealing lifestyle from a commercial perspective, from a marketing perspective, or from a capitalistic perspective, whatever perspective, they've got it all. These are the ones that feel like they've got the least. Often these, again, are the ones that have got the compulsions and addictions. The internal world is just empty. And so high achievers often have one or maybe two of these empires figured out, but it's come at the expense of the other two or three. And more correctly, it's come at the expense of themselves, abandoning and neglecting themselves, because remember, these are the interior empires. The interior empires being the parts of ourselves that we need to be having holistic, functional success and well-being in the life. And so peak performance and moving into a world of peak performance is a total shift from a high achieving perspective. And so someone that I really love to reference, those of you that might be familiar with Andrew Tate. I have a lot of respect and admiration for how strong his mindset is. Mindset made of steel. But I don't see him as a peak performer. He's a high achiever because he's got the health, I believe, by what we can see, and he's got the mindset. But he'll say himself, he's got no emotional world. He doesn't believe in emotions. He doesn't have any really great intimate relationships. He can't be a model for his children because he's got no vulnerability or real emotional world that he can show up. He even says, he'll only show up where he knows he'll win. What happened to being courageous in the face of sucking at something new? That's the whole definition of vulnerability. So I don't see that as holistic success. He's just living a boy's dream rather than like a holistic masculine world. Now, I know that will be triggering to some of you, and some of you will be championing that. Bring whatever perspectives you want. What we're talking about is a holistic success across the 4 interior empires. So I hope across the other platforms, we're getting some comments coming in. Let me know how this is sitting with you. Are you giving me a hell yeah? Are you giving me, what about this? Or how does this land? Or let me know, because I'd love to come back and read across these and give further perspective and have this conversation. By the way, those of you that have registered for this will have your emails. I'm going to send you an email about how we can have more of a conversation around this live together, have a two-way conversation. I'll put it sometime in the future. I'm not sure when yet. That's my little gift to you guys. So how do we take care of the 4 interior empires? There's different ways that we can approach peak performance. As you can imagine, each one of those empires is huge in itself, but a really great starting point is mastering your mornings. The morning mastery is an optimized approach to work on all 4 of these at once. I know some of you tuning in, you've already been doing this, you've already been seeing the incredible results so quickly. When we elevate our mornings, we're owning our life. We're being on the offensive in life and stepping into it, taking charge of our lives. Strong mornings flow into glorious days that cascade into winning weeks, months and quarters, and into extraordinary years. It starts with the morning. And so we need to be able to craft and take control of these mornings. We need to own them in order to take care of our lives and own our lives and who it is that we're becoming and where it is that we're heading. So I want to check in. What I'd normally ask you guys, if I could get some feedback, I just want to check in with you guys. Really consider for yourself. Ask yourself, do I have a strong morning routine? Maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you are going, nope. So I wonder then, could you start having a strong morning routine? Would this be now a great time to elevate your life? And those that have already got a great morning routine, can you elevate it into a way that's enhanced? It enhances your personal performance. Can we elevate that? And I trust that through this conversation, you can already see that by elevating your personal performance, you can become even more equipped to create value. Create value for yourself, create values for others, and make even more of a difference in the world as a whole. Trust that you can start seeing that. So check in with yourself. Is now the time? And if the time's not now, then when? And if it's not you, who is it? Because this is you in your life. So I just want to give you a moment to reflect on that. There's so many benefits to having a really strong, elevated morning routine. Like, a morning routine is the mother of all other rituals and routines. You dial this one in, it will elevate every other positive routine you have in your life, and it will also destroy any negative rituals, routines in your life. They just won't be able to stick around anymore. And so you get this one right, it's incredible how just the dominoes start to fall in a really positive way. So a couple of the benefits, we don't have time to go through all the benefits. I love the conversations that we're having in our community about, like, every day I encourage everyone to show up and share what they're noticing about their morning routine. And we're starting to get a good flow on effect. Brandon, shout out to you, man. I love your share this morning. I know you're here listening, and I want to just give huge congratulations of what you've noticed and how Brandon, I'm not going to go into his whole message. It was quite personal and very emotional. I love it, man. It's so good. The thing that I loved about your share is you took your morning routine, referenced it, and gave it to someone else. The teacher learns the most. I love that saying as well. So, message from Joe. Anyone has any errors, try refreshing the screen. I hope and I trust that I'm still coming through. You guys are all tuning in on this. And for those of you that are having any issues, I'm sure there'll be a recording available to you. So one of the major benefits that I love, that I hear all the time about having a morning routine and showing up, is it gives you something to focus on. I remember this. I hear all the time, people like, I don't like mornings. I'm a night owl. Why would I want to wake up earlier? I just can't wake up earlier. And I think the main reason why people hate mornings or find it challenging to get up at 5 a.m. an hour earlier than what you need to is most people just don't have a morning that they're in love with. Maybe it means getting up and sitting in traffic for ages, or going to a job they hate, or doing something really hard that is just not fun. So of course your body is going to go, why am I going to get up earlier to do something that sucks? But have you noticed, if you're going to go and do something, I learned this when I was 12 years old, like I wanted to go snowboarding, and I didn't get to go snowboarding very often. The ski field was 5 hours away. I had to get up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. to go snowboarding. And this is one day I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting up at whatever time. In fact, I didn't even sleep. I was so excited. And so when you create a morning routine that you see so much come out of it and it uplifts you so much, it makes your mornings exciting. Like I love, and we'll talk about this in a moment, all the feel-good factors that comes out of a strong routine. It makes me want to wake up. I don't even need to set my alarm, and now I'm already waking up. Sometimes I wake up at like 3:30, ready to get up. And I'm like, Dan, go back to sleep. This is too early. And I'm like sitting there like a kid on Christmas, waiting to go and start my routine. And this is important for both those of you that have to wake up to do something really hard or challenging that you don't really want to do. You optimize it to make it really incredible, so it's awesome. And then you go and do the thing that's hard, but now it's not so hard because you're awake and it's easier and you're motivated. Through to the other end of the spectrum, I had this as well. When I got into solar and I was making a shit ton of money and my first calls went to 11, I was like, well, I don't have to get up. I had no purpose to get up early. So I'd sleep in until 9, 10, like half an hour before my first call. They had the glorious hours of the morning. Now, even if I have nothing scheduled for the day, I'm still excited to get up at 5 a.m., run the morning routine, and then take care of so much more. Suddenly I have things to fill my day with that are really effective. And this fills in the second benefit of people go, I don't have enough time for working out. I don't have enough time for, say, the health set. I don't have enough time for personal development or growth. I don't have enough time to take care of my own needs because I've got kids and responsibilities and all this. And I say, bullshit. You've just spent that time sleeping. You have enough time. And so it's incredible to really dial in this routine that will create enough time. And more than that, it's dedicated time for yourself. This world, we've got this world where people walking around with self-loathing and self-hatred and, not enough self-worth or trust that they can handle it. Now, this is talking on a much deeper level. But when you prioritize yourself and you show yourself that you're important, guess what happens to your self-worth? Guess how much you can actually start trusting yourself to follow through when it matters the most, because you're prioritizing yourself, you're dedicating time for yourself, and you're showing up for yourself like it really matters because you matter so much. You're making time for what's most important, the 4 interior empires, the mindset, the health set, the heart set, the soul set. And so we're going to break this down and even further in just a moment of how we can optimize that. We're not talking a long time. We're talking like an extra 60 minutes in the morning, an hour. It's nothing. My favorite benefit, and we're going to touch on this in just a moment as well. My favorite benefit is using your neurochemistry to do the heavy lifting for you. So what do I mean by that? When we wake up, and so the first part of my day is go and do some elevate my heart rate. What that does is it decreases the cortisol level. So cortisol is the fear hormone. Fear creates stress, it creates dissatisfaction, it creates that tightness. And so, when the whole saying, I used to be the person that woke up on the wrong side of the bed every morning. I'd get up, the coffee had run out, the tire on the tire on the car was flat, I'd miss the bus, all the shit that could go wrong would go wrong. And a lot of it's driven by the cortisol in us is the fear hormone that's creating a reality that's hard and arduous. Versus when you elevate your heart rate, it releases dopamine, which is motivating, the feel-good energy. It helps boost your inspiration, your passion for what's good. It also releases serotonin, which is the drug of, if you've ever had MDMA or you're familiar with MDMA and ecstasy, or when you have, it's like the other one. I'm not very good on the drugs, but the hormone that's released when you're having sex. All these different chemicals that make us feel really good and suppress pain, natural painkillers. I think that's wonderful. That's incredible to wake up to. And now I feel like I'm in charge on top of my day. Versus what we could be doing is sleeping and waking up and just wasting the most glorious hours of the day. So some of the quotes that stand out to me when it comes to why this is so important. One that comes from Abraham Lincoln. He talks about how, give me 6 hours to chop down the tree and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. And I think it's just a really great quote because it's the importance of preparation. When we prepare our days for a winning day, guess what happens that day? We get more winning days. Versus waking up and letting life squeeze us. We get whatever results, which usually kind of suck. And then we get to say, see, told you so. We still kind of suck and not getting the results that it is that I want in life. It's just not a winning formula. So if you want to be the best, prepare to be the best. If you want to have the best days, prepare for the best days. Dopamine. Yes, JC. Elevate that dopamine. For sure. So a lot of what I'm talking about has been modeled out of, if you're familiar with Robin Sharma, I love his work. He's got the book, The 5 AM Club. If you're loving this conversation, I'd highly recommend the book. He says the way you start your day determines how you live your day, which makes total sense. The simplicity of that is a game changer. So it's awesome. What's more, excuse me. What's more, I think it's really fascinating. Some statistics around how this is proven in science. This, we could talk about this in a spiritual sense, power of manifestation and, vibrations and all of that. I think it's all really great stuff. But even when it comes to science, backs this conversation up. A study by Christoph Randler. He's a German biologist. It was referenced by Harvard, so it's Harvard's Business Review. Sorry. Really great study. Morning people tend to have more proactivity and they anticipate problems and minimize them more effectively and efficiently than night people, which improved their performance. This is a big study. So who wouldn't want more proactivity and being able to anticipate more problems and minimize them more efficiently? Isn't that a given in business and in life? And then there was a study in the University of Texas. It's quite a big study that showed that early birds, or those that classified themselves as early birds, had an average GPA of 3.5 versus the night owls had an average GPA of 2.5. Now, again, averages, there'll be the outliers, but as an average, I'm like, that's a whole extra point. When I read that, I had to go away and find out what GPAs were, by the way. We don't have them where I come from in New Zealand. So very American study, but I think given you guys, you would understand that a whole point on a GPA just through being associated or associating yourself as an early bird. Again, if you want performance in your life, why wouldn't you? So I trust and I hope that you guys are loving this conversation. I'm going to run through really quickly on how we do this and optimizing your routine. Now, this is not a be-all, end-all conversation. I hope and I trust that for those that are familiar with this conversation, you take some gold nuggets away to further optimize yours and bring you more motivation and inspiration to following through on what it is that you've started. And for those of you that this is just a brand new conversation for, I trust that it will give you, again, inspiration, but a perspective of what could be possible in your life if you choose the possibilities for it. So the morning mastery follows a formula. All great things have a formula. All outcomes have a strategy. And so if you're getting outcomes that it is that you don't like, it's not that you're a sucky person. You don't suck. It's just the strategy, the formula you're following sucks. So we find out what that is, we break it, we give you a new one. This is one that works for anyone that wants just to elevate their life. It's just such a great formula to follow. The 20-20-20 formula outlined really clearly in the 5 AM Club. So we've got 20 minutes of move, 20 minutes of reflect, 20 minutes of grow. 3 times 20 minutes is 60 minutes in total. Not too difficult. Now, all of this, you can make it, my morning routine takes 2 hours. I like to double all of that and make it my own. 20 minutes is just what is recommended as the minimum to get at least some statistical change or like biological change within yourself. So pocket number 1, move. It's all about regulating your cortisol, like I mentioned before. So you regulate your cortisol, your stress, your fear hormone that's going to make it look like you've woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and it will help you increase your dopamine, boost your dopamine, and feel really great. In order to have these neurochemical effects, it does the heavy lifting for you. And what I mean by doing the heavy lifting, by the way, is like living a life where you have to just focus on like willpower and determination. It gets really, really hard. Anyone that's tried to do that for an extended period of time is either facing or has faced burnout. It's not sustainable. So what's the alternative? Okay, well, sure, the other end of the spectrum is just do nothing and have a pretty mediocre life, maybe. And, don't get me wrong, sitting on top of the hill, meditating your whole life might be really great for some. It's just, that's not for me. What we can rely on is our biochemistry or our neurochemistry to do the heavy lifting, which means when we have dopamine within us, our motivation spikes, and now we don't need determination. It just feels like things are working for themselves. Things are just happening. Think about when you're really inspired, you're switched on and you're just ready to go. You don't need motivation. You don't need willpower, determination in that moment. You've got the chemistry within you that's wired to do that. And it's the same, like, sure, like you can take drugs to help yourself do that. Caffeine is an incredible drug. Sure, I'll have a coffee in the morning. But what if we could just create that chemistry within ourselves? That's where you get up in the morning, do a 20-minute run, do 20 minutes of skipping, do 20 minutes of rowing, biking, 20 minutes of bloody Zumba if you love dancing, whatever it is, just get the heart rate flowing, pumping. You'll be able to enhance that dopamine. So straight after that, we go into pocket number 2, which is reflect. This is a scary one for a lot of people. What I've discovered is most people can't sit with themselves in silence. So many people are trying to silence the voice of fear. And so how do I know that? Look around. Look at the evidence that we have within us. We have created a world of distraction, distracting us from the fear of not being good enough, not being loved, not belonging, the fears within that we all have. And so we can either keep trying to silence it. Where does that lead? Nowhere pretty, because the voice will get louder and louder and louder until it's listened to. This is a big part of my work, by the way. We're going to tap back into those voices. Now, this is not about listening to the voice of fear that's going to tell you to do some crazy things and then acting on it. This is about being able to listen to the inner voice within us. So we've got many voices, many parts of ourselves that are giving us messages. But in the pocket of reflect, it's about hearing your inner wisdom, learning how to hear your inner genius, bring a level of discernment between which voices are directing you to do things that are going to help you become more of who you want to become, and which voices are keeping you hidden, stuck, the same, and stagnant from growth. The voices that are wanting you to procrastinate, the voices that are trying to overwhelm you with a whole lot of nonsense that just doesn't matter. When we come back to listening and reflecting on what's going on in our life, we can start learning how to discern what really matters in our life. And it's really incredible. So you can do this in many different ways. I love journaling. I think journaling is, I didn't always love journaling. I created the Parallax Transformations Progress Journal, which many of you have. I gave away at the Solar Villa this year. I've coined it the most valuable journal that exists because every single person that's completed it's 3 months. It's a 90-day journal. Everyone that's done it has come back with whatever their version of becoming a serial winner was. And it's beautifully filled out. It's beautifully laid out for you to fill out, sorry. But journaling's not the only way. Like, if you can journal on, your self-acknowledgements, or like last week, this conversation was gratitudes. It's epic. It's so good because what you're doing, or journaling on how and bringing a reflection on how you're living out your values. So many people say they have values, but they've got no demonstration of living them out. And it's so important because now what we're doing is we're choosing what it is that we're focusing on. Rather than focusing on everything that sucks in life, we're focusing on what's really powerful and strong and leading us to a better mindset, but also taking care of our heart set because we're listening to what has maybe given us grief in the past, or is still giving us grief, the unprocessed traumas or hurts. It's really powerful within that. So much comes up within this moment. Again, it's a practice. It's something that we need to develop. So it could be meditation. It could be breath work. It could be ice bath. It could be just sitting there, gazing out into the trees. There's so many different ways. Pocket number 2 is about reflect. And then the third pocket, grow. So many people say, I don't have enough time for personal development. I don't have time to become the better version of myself. Most people are out there living life reactively rather than being on the offensive and being intentional with who it is that they become. Stepping into legendary, world class starts with being intentional of how it is and where it is that you're going to be growing. This is a demonstration that you matter. To take care of yourself and your personal growth shows that you're important in the world. Just that alone is going to elevate your self-worth. That you're prioritizing you and making time for you is so important. You're taking responsibility for your future and who it is that you're becoming. I don't know what's more powerful than that. And it's not hard to do. 20 minutes of listening to a podcast, or an audio book, or reading a book. There's programs like in the Volta Transformations that I've created for our community. There's just so many sessions in there, all these conversations that we post in. I love how the guys come back and go, Dan, I completed this one. Or I've been listening to your voices, I'm going for my run, and they're starting to stack these together. I just think it's epic. Like, I love these conversations. I love anyone that's engaging in this conversation because they're taking responsibility for who it is that they're becoming. And not only that, becoming the demonstration, the model of demonstration for their kids, for their partners, for their community, and showing up. Like, there's so much value in that versus those that are going, I'm not a morning person, I'm just going to sleep for another hour. Like, seriously? So trust that, very high overview, but I trust that you can see the difference in how following such a formula will massively, massively elevate your mornings. And the simplicity, it's not complicated. The simplicity of how morning mastery will optimize your life. And maybe, and I hope and I trust that you can already feel the potential already within you just by having access to this perspective, to this knowledge of going, I do have an option here. I do have a choice. And how the potential now, you can already feel the change shifting within you. So I hope, I trust, that you're feeling this. Give me a thumbs up. Not that I can see you. Give yourself a thumbs up. Oh, look at that. We've got a thumb on the screen. I trust that that's really awesome for you. So For those of you that are loving this conversation, if it's cool, I'd love to share with you how we can take this conversation even further together. I know many of you are already jumping into the Morning Mastery Club. This is a club that I created. It was out of inspiration at what we did at Solar Villa. So those of you that are tuning in here live today or on the recording, thank you guys. You guys here in the Dominican Republic at Solar Villa were the inspiration to this whole conversation. So you've already contributed to it. I'm going to share my screen and show you how we can do this. Take this conversation even further, because it's something that I'm just so passionate to share with you all. So I'll see if I can get this right. Share screen. Let's do it. Share the window. This one. All right. Have we got a shared screen? I hope so. Press that button. We'll use that one. All right. So, Morning Mastery, forging your peak performance. So this is the whole conversation that we've just been having, dialing in the power of discipline, growth, community. When you elevate your morning, I can't stress this enough, when you elevate morning, you own your life. And so it's all about supercharging your days. When you harness your morning, you're really taking a competitive advantage over your competitors, over your personal enemies, or your personal challenges that really amplify your focus and your overall well-being. You're starting your day with intention and clarity, and it's something that I hear everyone's always wanting more of. You're fortifying inner strengths. It all aligns to your 4 interior empires: mindset, heart set, health set, soul set. Like, it really makes such a big difference. And then you're really joining a global movement. We've got guys from all around the world actually joining us. I love that we're really turning this up and bringing in different accents. It's like, what, JC? Hey, JC, I know that you're here with us today. You're like, I love all the accents here, and I think it's so cool. Everyone's bringing their own flavor to how it is they're elevating their mornings. Within the community, we have shared wisdom, expert support, accountability. So like I show up every day with different insights, personal videos, and reply to every comment. So, it really is such a great pathway. So how does it really forge your peak performance? It's everything that we've been talking about today. Our members follow the 20-20-20 formula. So we get up. And by the way, this is a virtual club, so we're on different time zones. You still get up and you follow your morning routine, but the challenges that you find along the way, you can bring back into the club. And we have sessions, and we have community, we have conversation of how to overcome them. But basically, get up, do your 20 minutes of moving. You do your reflection, finding the inner clarity through your meditation, journaling, and deep breathing, and then grow. And I think the grow is awesome. So whether it's growing into becoming a better salesperson, but even more than that, growing into becoming the best version that you possibly can be in your life, for you, for your kids, for your partner, for the community. This is filling your responsibility as a human to fill your potential. I think there is so much responsibility for us to be doing that, to be leveraging the gifts that we've been given to become all of who we can be. I think there's so much beauty within that. So heaps within the Morning Mastery Club inclusions. You've got the group coaching calls. So kind of calls like this, but there's 2-way. So we can go question and answer. We celebrate each other, bring in knowledge, go deeper on all the topics that we've been talking about today. So we do 2 of those a month. They are set up for US time zones, so they're really great. And yeah, heaps of value within those. You get the complete vault of mastery teachings, which again, we're breaking down the 20-20-20 formula and everything that you need to know within that. Within the group, we've got 24-hour community and accountability to bring to each other. It's awesome. Like when we go, you would have heard the whole saying, never go it alone. When you're going after something that's really challenging, like it's really hard to develop new habits. Before we can develop a new habit, we got to destroy the old habits. And these old habits have been around with you for probably most of your life. Maybe you've developed them over a couple of decades now. So, we don't go it alone. And that's why we have the community, because we need others to come along with us. The lone wolf never survives. So community is everything. And then, we just developed this recent progress tracker, which is awesome. We got, you can going after getting the points, and then the points get street cred. Maybe we'll add some other cool bonuses within that, but really allows you to see your growth, because a lot of developing a new habit and ritual is before you can see the physical development on yourself or mentally or whatever, that takes time. You can still see that you're ticking off, you're earning your points, you're showing up consistently, you're becoming the person that you need to become in order to create the success that it is that you want. Progress track is really great for that. So we've developed one for the Morning Mastery Club here. So all of this, heaps of value, it's like $1,500, but doing it for cheap. I want to say cheap. Is it cheap? I think it's just epic value. $81, not even a month. I've done this over a quarter, and so quarterly investments to come and join the club. I'm doing this because I just love rocking out with people that can see and can feel and can hear the benefits and what this is going to mean in their life, and they're coming and bring this epic energy. So I just want to hang out with you. You guys are my people. So I basically put this on just to cover the costs of running it. And then, of course, what would a epic value stack be without bonuses? We're running at the moment, if you join, you get the peak performance video collection, which is not one but two peak performance video. One's a 5-session program, the other one's a 6-session program around mindset for success and how to become a peak performer. So that's easy way to fill your grow period, or grow pocket, I should say. And then you also get the physical book, The 3 Toxic Lies that keep you busy, stressed, and unfulfilled, which is a book I wrote at the beginning of this year. Really easy to consume book around how to create more time in your day to feel more calm, more present, and start really creating a sense of fulfillment. So that is posted to you. It's a soft copy book, but in hard copy format, posted out to you with postage included. No tricks there at all. So scan the barcode. I think it works. Hope it works. If you're on the recording, pause it, scan it. If you'd love to come and join us on that, I'd love to have you. Our next call is going to be on Monday. I think it's 1, 2. I've got no idea. It's about midday EST time, probably about the same time as what we are here now. I'd love to see you guys within it. So that's how we can rock out and create even more glory in our days together. So did I stay under time? How was that? Give us some love, give us some energy, give us some feedback, give us the takeaways in the comments. Shout out, reach out, whichever way we can connect. I'd love to continue this conversation with you all. And we'll wrap it up here. Brenda, I invite you back onto the stage.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was amazing. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it and got a lot of gold nuggets. And it's really, really important. Make sure you guys follow Daniel, connect with him. And I'm sure you guys will love to enjoy it. And I talked to him about joining his team, and I'm looking forward. And I just want to say thank you, and make sure next Monday we'll have an amazing guest too. Jen's Bono will be with us on Monday. Don't miss it. And let's just start the week with all the full energy after having this amazing conversation with Daniel. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Awesome. You're so welcome. I trust everyone loved it. I look forward to connecting with you all. And of course, especially yourself, Brenda, very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. And have an amazing Monday, guys. Bye and have a blessed day. Thank you.